Kazumi as Sailor Moon. At night, my glowing limbs stretch thin, clamp my straight lashes beneath the moon, my petals pressed like mascara masks tuxedoed in black, this drawing of a rose and roses. It is no sin to slip one glowing hand inside myself, bleach the petals stitched to my chest like dark crystals into oblivion. I know how to whiten my hair, my skin. I've soldiered through these flames and called it justice, kept my hands inside my gloves, never touched my crown or the true warmth of it. But pause. I want to touch my skin like this tuxedo, the slight tip of a finger across leaving limbs, to know that my body is my own eternal princess, cold, hard edge of a crescent, to know I am more than petal, more than thorn. I am teaching myself what love is. Pomp and primp won't lock my lips. I can't falter, can't miss. You can't stop to frisk this. Oh, masked man, prince. Oh, straight, white, cis, lead. Oh, Hollywood, America, Japan. I'm tired of living your rules. Follow me. I'll teach you to love properly. You don't want to know what an angry alien can do. Stand with me, or in the name of the moon, I will punish you.
Yeah.
The very last New Year's resolution. The very last mammoth was just like the others, except more lonely. The very last tortilla chip makes me feel guilty. The very last line of the poem changes everything that came before it. On the very last day of any semester, if I liked my class, I buy them cookies. Every year, someone hears the very last words of any given language, and then it sinks into the mud of colonialism. White soldiers gave every last Indian at Fort Pitt a blanket to keep them warm. The very last samurai was white. The very last thing I wanted this poem to be about was white people. But that didn't last too long. Last year I wavered between whispering and screaming, the very latest from the Western Front, a lasting quiet. The radio was never much of a conversationalist. The very last tape I listened to scrambled like an egg at brunch in Pittsburgh on a Sunday with the very last people I expected to be at brunch with. Who'd have know that I'd love so many white people? The very last story my grandfather told me was about a boy named Sutoma who was born from a peach called America, the very last place his father thought he'd be. The very last ornament we hang from our tree each year is a face. The very last year I spent Christmas with my whole family was in 6th grade. I hated my whole family that year. To the very last drop of blood in my body, I wanted them out. Now I want to bring all these Pittsburgh people home with me, take them to meet my family. With every pixel of every word I bleed, I never wanted to hate my family or anything at all. I want last year to be the very last time that I ever hate anything, even when white people are killing black people and sealing off the streets. I will hold so many hands to the very last trigger resting on the very last finger resting on the very last trigger of every last gun. Listen to me. I am loving, I am giving so much fucking love to you. Occupation. Do this way. You got to be kidding me, right, meow, said the not funny coach to Mammoth, who was not amused. Language escapes me, he spat back. You mistake me for a human. That space journey Cat took with the coach had turned Cat into a mammoth, though it never really felt right in Cat's head. Meow, the mammoth would hum in his head. Meow, meow, meow. But the Japanese were ripping the coach's playbook to shreds, and they were teaching Mammoth to mew, like a proper Japanese kitten, they said. To be kitten, apply one strip of wallpaper at a time, purr and frolic in the floral print. Language cannot grow when we don't teach it the ways of civilization, the Japanese star said. So Mammoth learned language. He loved the idea of farms and cities. You got me, he said to Coach as the star held the remains of Cat's bloody body in its mouth. Right, said Coach. Meow, Mammoth said, before realizing his mistake. He tried to repent for his sins. Mew, 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 but the soldiers had already heard. They shot him and turned him into a piano. You mistake me for a piano, the piano said. You got to be kidding me, right? The star said. You got me, meow. And the piano sang a sad song about a fish who lost his head and became a human female. Becoming mermaid. This body bears no resemblance to the bodies of the past. This body is only here as it is, right now, and so this history of other bodies does not concern it. There's never been another swimmer inside this body, not as this body swims, not as this one. But when I move an arm, there's another arm moving, and inside that arm another, and so on. This is how I understand it. Child, you, immigrant, not yet arrived. You will see the shore and wonder why it is that you came. You will be offered 6 seeds and no acre of land, and the seeds will not be what they say they are. They bloom only in winter and only in your hands. Sometimes at night the eels sneak inside me and they find her, the child, and I emerge from my dreams of a past life. I was a girl who loved to dress up for parties. She was left-handed and did not belong to them. She painted her nails every day, and her favorite color was purple. She came from a town not far off the coast. She was not beautiful. She looked like me. If it appears to you as the sun, it is most likely the sun. If it appears as rain, it is most likely rain. I have wanted it all. I've burned countless dresses and set them on clotheslines to hang, but each time they float away. To cross a border with a dress, to cross-dress, who lived on a cross, who died by the cross, who crossed their heart and hope to die. I am crossing the street to you now. Tell me, will you take me? Tell me, will you take me home? Becoming Kazumi. There's a phone ringing in the back of my mind that I refuse to pick up. And I swallowed the receiver years ago anyway, during one of those fits where I throw my whole life into the dryer and come out static, and I'm balling up my clothes again. It always feels like laundry time, and I'm just writing a stupid poem that doesn't say anything. The gloves on the table are not mine. The words that spear my tongue somehow bubble out of me without my having done anything. I want to live inside someone else's poems, but I only have my own. And in mine, my father never appears. But today he texted me about the -8-degree weather because he loves me. That's the thing. We always say stuff in the stupidest of ways. Here I am, singing like Ariana, even though I'll never be. There is no one to be but myself, worrying that I'm this genie in a bottle made of diamonds that even diamonds can't cut through. I'm not a mermaid, I'm not a pop star, I'm a little kid swimming in this body of a man. This is the poem that's supposed to get me out of this mess, but I just keep diving in. So let me love the diving, let me never know. I too can wear my own crown. I too can part the waves and call them sand. And I'll sit on this imaginary beach, which is also an ocean. And I'll be a fish singing because why the fuck not? And everything will swirl around me like a giant cocoon, and I'll be here, chilling, looking everyone in the eye as I'm treading water, or sand, or schools of little silver fish, or giant puddles of jelly. I'll just stare everyone down and be like, what